Oh, I'll go up.
We're going to do one more witness and then take a lunch break. Thank you. All right, thank you so much. All right, welcome, come on up. If you would raise your right hand, you swear affirm the testimony about to give you the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. You can have a seat, speak in the microphone. If you would state your full legal name.
Anthony David Kavanaugh.
Thank you.
And Mr. Kavanaugh, can you tell the jury how you are employed?
I work for Hall County Fire Rescue as a firefighter paramedic.
Firefighter paramedic. And how long have you been working with Hall County?
About 9.5 years.
9.5 years. And your current position, I think I heard you said firefighter paramedic?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you explain to the jury and talk to them about, for lack of a better term, the different levels of emergency personnel within the fire department?
So I am a FAO, which is a fire apparatus operator. So in layman's terms, I drive a fire truck. I also hold the certification of paramedic, which I can ride on the ambulance as the lead personnel. As far as the EMS side goes, you have a EMT-B, an EMT-A, and a paramedic. So you have a basic, advanced, and then paramedic. So majority of the people that work for Hall County, we're pretty much all of us almost are advanced EMTs at least, and then you can go further your education.
Is there when you're hired by a Hall County Fire Department, is there a training that they'll put you through before they ever put you onto a med unit or an ambulance?
Yes. So we have a recruit school. So we have our own fire school. So we do all of our fire training, and then there have been times we've had our own EMT program, and then there have been times where we use other agencies like Lanier Tech to house our EMS program.
And was that training that you went through?
I went through Lanier Tech for my EMT-B and EMT-A, and then Faithful Guardian for my paramedic.
Faithful Guardian.
Which is an EMT school, or EMS school.
EMS school. And is that done in order to rise to the level or be promoted to paramedic?
Yes.
Okay. I want to talk to you a little bit about the early morning of March 8th, 2025, okay? You know the date that I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
And specifically responding to 4238 Bay Ridge Drive in Gainesville.
Yes, sir.
Okay. At that time, okay, so a little over a year ago, what role or position did you hold within the fire department?
Paramedic.
Paramedic, okay. So by March 8th, 2025, you've already gone through the training, EMT-B, EMT-A, and then further training, be paramedic.
Yes, sir.
Okay. For this particular call out to 4238 Bay Ridge Drive, what was your role during that call in terms of responsibilities, duties?
I was the lead medic on scene.
Lead medic on scene?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have a copy of your report?
Not on me.
Okay. Judge, permission for free reign?
Thank you, sir.
And I'm not gonna tender anything, just if he needs it to refresh or
Yeah,
watch.
water.
It's not gonna get. Okay. Just, I want to talk to you a little bit about some of the information contained in the report. I know we're talking about something that happened over a year ago. I'm sure you guys get plenty of calls. So if at any point you just need to refresh your recollection, take a beat, and then we can talk about it. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Specifically, I want to turn to page 4 of this report, okay? And can you tell the jury what time your med unit, and is med unit another word for what we would think of as ambulance?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What time did your med unit arrive on scene at 4238 Bay Ridge Drive?
It's 1:27 and 49 seconds.
Okay. And then, is this a situation where you immediately arrived on scene and then entered the residence, or did something else happen?
So as far as the on-scene time goes, it's pretty much you pull up to the house, put the truck in park, press on scene.
Okay, on scene. And then is there a different data point for when you actually get to the patient?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what time did you actually get to the patient?
The patient arrival time was 1:28 and 32 seconds.
So in this instance, we're talking about less than a minute in between arriving on scene and getting up to the patient.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you remember where patient was located at the scene?
Upstairs bedroom on the right,
Okay.
directly behind the door.
I want to talk to you a little bit about rigor mortis, okay? Can you explain to the jury what rigor mortis is?
Rigor mortis is when the body, you go into cardiac arrest, and after a certain period of time, roughly 1 to 6 hours, then the body starts to harden. Like it just everything becomes stiff. The first thing that becomes stiff is typically your jaw, but eventually everything, you'll be stiff as a board, essentially.
Okay. Is it possible for somebody to die and then their body not to experience or develop rigor mortis?
To my knowledge, no.
Let me talk to you a little bit about lividity, okay? Similarly, can you explain to the jury what lividity is?
So lividity is the pooling of blood. So after we pass away, our heart stops beating, gravity takes effect, all the blood just seeps down wherever gravity's taking it, and then you'll have like bruising on the body, which usually takes anywhere from 20, 30 minutes to 2 hours.
Okay. So in an instance where somebody has placed a 911 call at 110, 111, and then you're at the patient by 128, it's at least possible that the onset of this lividity could be happening.
It could, yeah.
And again, I guess, is lividity, unlike rigor mortis, sort of more dependent upon the position the body is in after sustaining some sort of injury?
The evidence of lividity, yes, like what you see So if you're laying on your stomach, then I would expect to see lividity all over your chest, wall, and stomach and everything.
Again, that's essentially a discoloration of what we would normally expect a body to look like.
Yes, sir.
Okay. PEA, you're familiar with the acronym?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you tell the jury what PEA is?
PEA is pulseless electrical activity. So after the heart stops beating, there's a lack of oxygen, or PEA is due to a lack of oxygen or volume loss, so a loss of blood. After the heart stops beating, you have electrical impulses that are still flowing through the heart, but it is not creating an actual contraction. So there is no palpable pulse, meaning when you check for a pulse, you can't feel anything.
Would it be fair to describe it sort of, the heart is thinking that it should pump or beat, but it simply lacks the physical capability. So it's sending these signals out, beat, pump, but it just no longer, because of loss of blood or whatever injury, possesses the actual physical capability to perform that function.
Yes.
Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about when you get up to the patient in the bedroom, okay? Did you check for a pulse?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I guess, how did you do that?
When we found the patient, he was laying on his stomach. We rolled him to his back, checked for a carotid pulse, no more than 10 seconds, and then you immediately start CPR.
Do you remember, let me ask you this, do you remember the body was light, heavy?
He's a heavy guy, he's a big guy.
Okay. I think, did you have to, eventually, we're jumping ahead a little bit, but let me go ahead and ask you, eventually, did you transport the patient from the bedroom to the med unit?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what did you use to do that?
It's called a mega mover, which
Okay.
is basically a tarp with handles.
Okay. And was the decision to use that due in some part or all part just to the size of the patient that you were dealing with?
The mega mover was determined by the layout of the house. So typically we would use a backboard, but because the stairwell, there was a turn, then it would make it a little bit more difficult. So we chose to use a mega mover.
Gotcha. Okay. So can't detect a pulse, and then did you have any equipment with you that's also used to detect rhythms?
Yes, we had our cardiac monitor.
Okay. And the cardiac monitor, that can detect all sorts of different rhythms, right?
Yes, sir.
And rhythm, can you explain to the jury what a rhythm is?
So a rhythm is the electrical pathway that your heart uses to make a contraction. So you'll have typically, what we all hopefully have is normal sinus rhythm.
And the monitor that then are looking for the results, is the monitor able to differentiate whether this is, a regular rhythm, I think VTAC, PEA, anything like that?
Yes, when we attach the pads to the patient, it's a manual interpretation, so it's what we see. We can use a function on the monitor to then get its assessment, but the PEA that we're describing here is our manual interpretation.
And by that, do you mean observing the results that you're seeing on the cardiac monitor in addition to other observations like not being able to feel a pulse?
Yes. So the monitor indicated that the heart had electrical currency running through it, but without a pulse, it is called PEA.
Okay. Now, the body of the patient that you were dealing with, was it warm to the touch when
Yes.
you got up there? Okay. Was there any rigor mortis that had set in?
No.
Was any lividity set in?
No.
What do you know the rate of PEA, the
was-
PEA rhythm that was detected?
23.
Okay. Were all of these factors, because was it you who had the responsibility of whether to transport the patient to the hospital or not?
Yes.
Okay. Were all of these factors that you just described, did those go into your decision to transport the patient to the hospital?
Yes.
Okay. Are there some situations or some calls that you respond to where you don't transport the patient
Yes.
and simply the patient and the patient's body is left on scene and you guys return to service?
Yes.
But at least for this instance, there were enough factors where you felt that the right decision was to transport.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And would that be consistent with the patient having recently received the injury that you guys were dealing with treating, recently received in connection with your arrival time to the scene?
I don't understand.
Okay. The condition of the patient's body.
Yes.
Right, as you arrive on scene, is that consistent with a body that's recently received the traumatic injury?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
No questions.
Thank you for your testimony. You're excused.
Thank you.
Everybody hold tight, let the witness clear, and we'll take a lunch break. I will see everyone at 1:30. Let's hold for the witness to be excused. Thank you. All right, members of the jury, thank you so much for your time. Again, please do not discuss the case with anyone, do not perform any research. Thank you. 1:30.